Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Urban Legends video. Well, this was the last one here for this particular series. Thank you everybody for your suggestions. Some of those that weren't picked for this go around, again, no worries. I'll be able to group them together and show them later on under future suggestions. I might even couple some of them with some new mixtapes that I'll make soon, so please be on the lookout for that. This particular urban legend I selected actually for myself because I was reminded of it whenever I was just recently in Las Vegas, and I realized that this would actually be a very good urban legend to mention to anyone out there, those of you who send me messages with regards to talking about more along the lines of paranormal type stuff. This should be a good option for you here, so that way you'll be able to get satisfied with regards to me talking about maybe some more paranormal type subjects. And with this particular urban legend, again, it didn't necessarily happen in Las Vegas, but what reminded me of it was being there on my trip. It actually happened in Henderson, Nevada, which is a place that's close by to Las Vegas. So if anyone has heard about the urban legend associated with the Fox Ridge Park ghost, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about here. For those that haven't, it's actually a mainstay of sorts when it comes to the ghost tours that people take there in Las Vegas. It's one of those things where I'm going to take one of those tours one day on one of my visits. I haven't done so yet, mainly because I like staying just in and around the strip area. I don't really like taking tours that go to places outside the city. But one day I'll try it out, and no doubt that this whatever ghost tour I take, they'll take me directly to the Fox Ridge Park and the purported ghost that haunts that location there. I also picked this particular urban legend because one of my most viewed urban legend videos happens to be also ghost related. It's the San Antonio tracks, which if you haven't had a chance to see it, it's one of my earliest urban legend videos. Check it out when you have a chance. It's gotten some good comments, good reviews, so thank you as always for that. Now, the Fox Ridge Park urban legend has to do with a young ghost that purportedly haunts a swing there at the park. And again, this is in Henderson, Nevada. Specifically, the address is 420 Valle Verde Drive, or Valley Verde Drive, Henderson, Nevada 89012, in case anybody is going to go visit that anytime soon. So if you do so, the only way to apparently catch this urban legend, this ghost, is at night, of course. That's the usual thing that's associated with anything having to do with something paranormal. It's the idea that you can never catch these things during the day. You always have to go at the dead of night when it's the creepiest thing possible. And the urban legend is pretty simple. You'll see a picture again of the location here of the park itself. I found a very interesting article from a website called jeremytheskeptic.blogspot.com, and he was a guy that essentially went and took a serious look into this urban legend because he wanted to find out exactly what it was about, how it came from. He's as curious as I am when it comes to these things, and so big kudos to this guy Jeremy for doing the research. Admittedly, he lived there during the time of the article. This was written back in 2008, so he had a lot more fortune when it comes to investigating such a thing. But hey, he took advantage of it, and he was able to produce some pretty good material, so I'm going to talk about that stuff here. And to give kudos to him, I've included the link to the article directly below, so if you wanted to see more details, check it out when you have a chance, including some comments from some of the people that also viewed the article and then gave their own thoughts. So again, the urban legend is pretty easy and straightforward, and it's basically like this. It's an urban legend where a young ghost, a young boy specifically, haunts one of the swings there. And the reason why the boy haunts that area, that park, is because apparently he had his life taken by a drunk driver. And so at that moment, whatever happened, some of the parts of the urban legend are that he was chasing a ball there in the park, and as he wandered to the street to take to try to catch the ball, That's when that drunk driver came out of nowhere and then killed him. Others say that he was killed in an apartment near and around the area. And when that happens, he visits now his favorite location at that time when he was a child before he was killed, which was that park, Fox Ridge Park. And then others mention that he's just a lost ghost of some sort, somebody that just, for whatever reason, haunts that location as is. And so the swings, you'll see a picture of them here. These are the purported haunted swings. There's two variations of them. There's the regular swings that you'll see here, and then there's more of a toddler type swings that you'll see in another picture. I wasn't able to see or find exactly which swings the boy haunts specifically, but the urban legend goes that whenever you visit this place at night, again, the dead of night, nobody's going to be in and around those swings, and yet one swing in particular will suddenly start swinging back and forth. And it's not something where it's just swinging loosely, but rather it swings in a manner where the swing itself, the wires or the metal chain that goes to the top of the bar, is taut straight. So in other words, it's as if the swing has some weight on it, and it's not just swinging loosely in the wind. And then whenever you approach the location there, specifically try to inspect how this is happening, apparently the closer you get, the closer you start seeing a boy manifest into that location there. And then here's the super creepy part. If you're still brave enough to get closer and closer and closer to this young boy, then he apparently starts to notice you, and he is not happy about it. He is something that is not to be disturbed, considering his circumstance and what happened to him. He is just trying to swing away in peace, and so anybody that comes closer to him, he starts to get more and more annoyed or more angry, to the point where if you get really close to him, he'll look at you, and the way he looks at you and turns into something, it is not quite nice. It is not a good vision. And then that's when he completely disappears right at that point. Probably not without, though, again, whatever he turns into, which does not look nice, he'll essentially do a hiss or do a scream or something along those lines at his anger towards you before he disappears. And that's about it. That's the urban legend on how the boy interacts with others there at that swing. And also part of the urban legend has to do with the fact where you can decide at your own bravery, at your own risk, if you want to swing next to him as well. So even if you do see this boy and you decide, okay, let me just swing alongside him but try not to disturb him, then apparently he'll just either stay there as is, or again he'll start to get real angry at you and then hiss at you and then go away. People have tried to see about this urban legend as much as possible to try to capture whatever this boy is. I remember seeing some videos on YouTube here with people they visit at the dead of night, and they try to do interviews, not interviews, but it's the thing where they take that voice recorder that they have, that they place in and around that area of that swing, and they just ask random questions, not really expecting an answer, but they try to hear something later on whenever they play back whatever the recorder is capturing at that moment. And people have apparently been able to capture voices, and then those that have taken video of in and around that area, they have either seen orbs that have come within the focus of their video cameras, and then those that have tried to take pictures have also seen other orbs as well. And in fact, you'll see some pictures of what I'm talking about here, where people are saying that this is the evidence, this is the physical evidence of the boy and what he's doing there at that park. Unfortunately, nobody has, of course, been able to capture the actual boy himself, despite the fact that people have said, I've seen him, this is what he does. The only source really that has come from, and this is in a way that's more of a keep yourself on guard type thing with regards to how truthful this stuff is. But the source of this urban legend and the sightings associated with it come from the ghost tours themselves, because this guy Jeremy the Skeptic, hence the keyword skeptic, he decided to try to see and an attempt to try to debunk and see where this story originated from. He did a pretty good job of it. I mean, he was able to narrow this down to first to a book that was written a couple years back called Weird Las Vegas and Nevada, that was written by some guy named Tim Cridland. And then based on talking with him, this guy Tim said, well, the story that I wrote there about the urban legend came from a tour guide called the Haunted Vegas Tour, specifically a woman called Janice Oberding. And so he tried to get in touch with her to see where she recounted it. And then she said it was either an article that was associated with the Las Vegas Journal that's there. An article that's printed there in Las Vegas. It's their version of the largest newspaper that they have. And then he also sent an email to the group itself, the one that created this urban legend from the beginning, called Las Vegas Paranormal Investigations, because they're the ones. It's kind of like a chicken and egg type deal. Either they're the ones that created it and the Las Vegas Journal reported it, or the Las Vegas Journal reported it first, and then the Las Vegas Paranormal Investigations group were the ones that basically took it on afterwards on their tour and talked about it with this lady, Miss Oberding, talking about it afterward. They responded back to him, the group, the Las Vegas Paranormal Investigations group, said just in an email, they told him, I can tell you that the park is haunted by the boy who was killed by a drunk driver. The boy's name is unknown, and a woman who was killed by an axe. The boy plays on the swings and the lady walks the perimeter of the park looking for her kids. That's an interesting note as well, because whenever Jeremy the Skeptic was trying to see again about the origination of this urban legend, he was told also of this woman who apparently haunts that area too. And that was interesting for me to find out, because that was the first time I've heard of it too. And so she apparently walks around that area with an axe or without an axe, but whatever it was, she was killed by an axe, and she looks around that park trying to find her kids, not knowing apparently that she's already dead. So again, the source of that urban legend with that boy that swings in and around that park, it's hard to pinpoint exactly if it's true or not, because again, the originations of it come ultimately from a woman who's part of an investigation group, that Las Vegas Paranormal Investigations. But either they started the urban legend, which he kind of hints in the article, kind of to try to he doesn't want to be as mean as possible, but in a way it's kind of to sell more tours, or it was the Las Vegas Journal that started it and they just simply took it on afterwards and incorporated it into their tours. It's kind of hard to tell, because even he tried to find articles there in the Las Vegas Journal to corroborate some of the info, but it was loose at best. So pretty good stuff again with regards to this urban legend, and a big kudos to this guy Jeremy the Skeptic for the good work that he did. If anyone knows any further information with this urban legend, please post your comments, share them below. It'd be interesting to see if anyone else has reported any other activity having to do with that park, and again, anything with the boy, and in this case the new information with the woman who was killed by an axe, who walks around that area trying to look for her kids. It'll be fascinating to see, especially if anybody has actually visited that location, that park. What's interesting to note about the article too is in and around that area there were at least, this guy Jeremy the Skeptic found at least 10 memorial plaques in and around that area, generally found in the trees of the park. Apparently people can purchase plaques there in Henderson for the park. All it costs is around $250, but you can have a plaque placed in memory of somebody. He actually used those plaques, the names that were on those plaques, to try to find if any story of those plaques matched either the boy being killed by a drunk driver or this woman again being killed by an axe, but nothing came about either as well. So big kudos to him to try to again see if anything tied to that, like an investigator trying to see if anything tied to any of that information, but no, he did not find anything either. Kind of makes you scratch your head again, like where then did this true urban legend start? He even chides the Las Vegas Journal with regards to them just blatantly placing something like this urban legend in one of their articles without really going into any source, because again, it does make you wonder, who started this? Was it something really truly started because people saw this boy there all of a sudden at the park at dead of night swinging on a swing when obviously he shouldn't be there? Or was it truly started out of the blue by maybe, and I'm using loose as possible, I'm not accusing anybody, maybe a paranormal group starting it so that way they could have a place, a destination for their tours? It makes you wonder on that part. But if anybody has any true experiences with this urban legend, please, I mean, by all means, this is the fascinating stuff that I look for. It'll be interesting to see if any of this stuff is for real, if anyone has seen or heard or felt anything at that park. So alright, thanks again as always, everybody. Take care. Bye.